Again, how do you know that you're intelligent?
Um, People often comment that I seem like a pretty smart person.
Okay.
I can understand things that quicker than other people, new topics.
Okay, so how do you know that?
In a classroom setting, I can explain ideas really well.
Okay, so when you say a classroom setting, you can explain ideas very well. Do you have many memories of that?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to, in your awareness right now, of course, there have been many of those experiences, right?
Right.
But in your awareness right now, how many of those experiences are you aware of?
And I can specifically describe it.
Yeah, if you don't need, I'm not going to ask you to describe them, but if I asked you to, you could describe them. And you don't have to give me the exact number, just give me
Sure, 5 or 6 right off the top of my head.
Okay, and you probably have reference experiences of being intelligent outside of the classroom.
Right.
Okay, so just in general, overall, about how many experiences of being intelligent do you think you have that you can, if I asked you to count them and describe them, you could. I'm not going to ask you to do that though.
I mean, maybe 20, 50, something
20,
like that.
Okay, so how are you accessing these memories? Is it something you're seeing, something you're hearing?
Seeing myself in situations.
Okay, and you're looking down here, so it's about right here that you're seeing them?
Yeah, in the center of my field of vision.
Center of your field of vision. Okay. And are they sequential, like you're seeing one at a time, or are they spread out in front of you like a
Sequential.
Sequential. Okay. And how many would you say are in the past? How many do you have a sense are in the present? And do you have any that are in the future?
These are all past events.
All past events. Okay. So what would it be like to have a present reference example? Are you intelligent right now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so now you have a present one.
I do.
Okay, and you can maybe break that down into smaller chunks to make them into more examples.
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any future examples? Do you see yourself being intelligent in the future, in specific contexts and examples?
Yes.
About how many of those do you have?
I don't know, a bunch. Infinity, I guess is.
Oh.
I mean, I don't see why they would stop.
Okay, now this is a very good example of someone who has future-paced himself into the future of being intelligent. So what's really interesting is it seems very balanced throughout your life. You've had an ongoing, continuous experience of being intelligent. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to spread them out and pretend like you have a timeline. And if you had a timeline in front of you, where would the present be, where would the past be, and where would the future be?
So it'd be past, present, future.
Okay. So when you look at your timeline and you spread out all your experiences, does it seem pretty balanced, or is there any gaps?
No, it's spread out. I suppose there's a little gap here and then here.
Okay. And do you know why those gaps are there?
No.
Okay, so I want you to reach in. So, and when you said over here about what time in your life was that?
I'm 6 years old.
Okay. So I want you to pull in an actual experience of you doing something intelligent when you were 6. It had to have happened. It's there. Pull it in and fill that gap.
Okay, I think I did well on a project in school.
Okay. So does it fill that gap in?
Yes.
Okay. You said there was another gap over here? Okay. Is that into the future? Or is that...
No, it's maybe a couple of years ago. I was studying a new subject and it was really challenging, and I failed a few classes in this subject.
Okay, so and what time span did that take that you failed this exam?
It was 3 months. It was a course that I was struggling with.
Okay, so in those 3 months, you couldn't have possibly done anything that was intelligent, right?
No, sure. I did do things that were intelligent that weren't related to that course. Yeah.
Okay, so find something and fill in that gap.
Okay.
All right. Now here's the interesting thing too. Now that you're aware of this database, and you can put it back to sequential, whatever makes sense for you. Do you also see times where you did stupid things? or unintelligent things? Are they inside that database as well? Okay.
Right.
So let's try this. Remove all of the negative examples, or all the times that, all the what we call counter examples, remove them from your database. And what does that feel like when you have a database that has no counter examples?
It feels kind of unrealistic.
You're a perfect demonstration subject. Okay. All right, so we want to put those back in because they're very important.
Right.
They ground it in reality, they give it contrast, they actually make you probably get the experience that you're more intelligent with them than without them. Right?
Right.
Okay, so after playing with that a little bit, and there's a lot more that we could do, we're not going to do it, but how would you rate your sense of intelligence now? Has it increased since we started playing with this?
Yeah, a little bit.
It usually does, yeah. But it seems like you already have a pretty strong database of it.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead and let that go. Now, he is passionate sometimes and sometimes he's not, which is a very different experience for him than his experience of being intelligent. So, are you passionate?
So it's off and on. I mean, I have moments with it. Right.
So, very different physiology from the intelligent one. So, how do you know that you're passionate when you are passionate?
I'm really excited about whatever I'm doing, the task in front of me, and I'm focused, and I'm not, distractions sort of fall away.
Okay. Do you have examples or reference experiences of being passionate?
Yes.
Okay. About how many of those do you think you have?
A handful, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. That's it?
I'm sure there are others, but 4 or 5 that I can actively recall.
All right. And so, what would you call the opposite of passion?
Disinterest,
Okay.
boredom, something like that.
Do you have any experiences of that?
Sure.
How many?
10,
Okay. So,
15.
so can you kind of see why that he's having the experience that he's having of passion? Do you have way more counterexamples readily available and referencing than you do of the positive of passion? Okay. So there's a number of ways we can go with this, but let's do this. Let's even the score.
Okay.
So you said 10 to 15 of the opposite, which is like boredom and disinterest.
Yes.
So let's balance this out a little bit and pull in. I guess you'd need about 10 more passionate experiences. So go ahead and just pull those into your awareness. They're there.
Just think of any times.
Times that you're really passionate, and we want a total of 15. Okay, are you struggling with this?
Oh, okay. I have some.
Now let me ask you, when you're pulling these passionate experiences in, or are they pulling in at the same time, pulling in even more counter?
No.
Okay, because sometimes that'll happen. What'll happen is, if you're so used to sorting in this manner, as you pull in more of the positive, it'll start to pull in more of the counter, because your mind is trying to balance it out still, but that's not happening.
No.
Okay, so do you have 15 passionate and 15 counter?
Yes.
Okay, and are you starting to feel a little more passionate, or does it
Yeah.
help? Okay,
It does.
so let's let go of the passionate examples for a moment,
Okay.
and let's look at this group of counter examples of boredom and disinterest, right?
Right.
Okay, and show me the location of where you have these.
Off to the right.
Up to the right over there. Okay, actually, where is your passionate ones?
To the left.
To the left. Okay. So when you look at this group over here of boredom and disinterest, and you see those examples, what do they tend to have in common? Like, some of them might all be in one context. Some of them, or they might be all in one particular period in your life, or they could all have maybe similar qualities, like they're similar brightness, or they're black and white. You know, what are the qualities that?
So a lot of them are black and white, and if I put a temperature, it feels cold.
Okay.
Right.
Anything else? Do you notice, like, was it a particular period in your life? Was it a certain context?
I can't think of a specific period. It'd just be it'd be in the process of doing something, and I'm just really not interested in it.
Okay. Now, here's another thing that can happen too. Your counterexamples to something might actually be demonstrating a positive quality in a different way, a different type of positive quality. So when you look at these examples, is it possible that there's a positive quality in there? If you take the frame of them being the opposite of passion out of it, could this be an example? Could all of these be an example of actually a positive quality?
I don't quite understand.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. I was working with fear on myself, and I had all these examples of fear, and it was like, oh wow, this is really kind of scary stuff. And then and it was in reference to courage. So courage being the positive, fear being the opposite. Well, what I realized about these examples of fear is that hidden in them were actually demonstrations of courage. So I was so focused on the fear part of them that what I didn't realize is that in all of these examples, I'd actually done something in spite of the fear. So they were all examples of actually courage. Now, it might not be exactly that way. You might not look at these and say, oh no, these are actually examples of passion. You might see a different quality in there. Like maybe you knew that it was time for you to relax and rest and recuperate, and that's what you were doing. And so it wasn't really a good thing for you to be passionate. Now, I'm really cautious of saying those things because I don't want to put words in your mind and make you think that that's what it is. We want to know what is it exactly, and it might not be. There might not be a positive quality in this at all. But we want to take a look at it and say, okay, is this a demonstration of a positive quality? You just happen to frame it in reference of passion, and it looks like it's the opposite of passion.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay, so I'm just checking with them. I want to make sure. So let's do this. Look at these examples, and I want you to locate the strongest, most powerful one.
Okay.
All right. Bring it into what we call like your workspace. So bring it closer to you. You don't want to make it too close or too big, because then it probably have too strong of an effect on you. You don't want to do that. And just watch what happened in that example. I'm not going to ask you for any content, so just go ahead and take a look at what happened there.
If I move it into my workspace?
Yeah, so like if it's over there, and here's my workspace, so I'm going to move it here because I'm going to work on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do that.
Okay, just put it in a place where it allows you to kind of separate it from the others,
Okay.
and then you can work with it. You can play around with it, okay?
Sure. Okay.
So you can see it now, right?
Right.
And just go ahead and watch it like a movie. You see what happened in that instance, and you don't have to tell me anything about it. Okay. Now, what I am going to ask you is, even though this seems very negative, what was the positive intent of being bored and disinterested in this situation? So in NLP, we say everything comes from a positive intent. Even the worst behavior you can think of, in its origin, started as a positive intent, and somehow I got it twisted and turned into something else.
I mean, I wanted to do something else and be happy or be entertained.
So your positive intent was to be happy and entertained?
Right.
Okay, that's a positive intent. What resource or resources were you lacking in this situation?
Excitement.
Okay.
Interest. Warmth.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you re-edit this movie, being connected to that positive intent of wanting to be entertained and excited, and bringing in those other resources, excited and whatever resources were relevant to this that would change what happened here. Bring all that in and re-edit the movie and make it go the way that you want it to go.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
And does anything else change about it? Like, was this black and white before?
Yes.
Is it in color now?
Yes.
Okay, interesting how that happens, huh? Okay, so it's in color, and go ahead and just watch the movie again, make any changes if you want. Remember, connect it to your positive intent, bring in those resources.
Okay.
Okay. So does it feel more passionate now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't want to forget what actually happened, because we're not trying to deceive you don't want to deceive yourself. You don't want to pretend like something happened that didn't happen. So let's take the movie of what actually happened and stick it next to this one, whichever side you think it should go on. But keep the old movie black and white and make it smaller than the re-edited version. Okay? So the re-edited version, I would say make it like twice as big, if not bigger, brighter, more colorful, and then the other one smaller, black and white. Okay? Now return this to the group of other counterexamples and stick it right in there.
Okay.
Okay, does it do anything else to the counterexamples?
Yeah, well, that one doesn't feel like it really belongs to the group, and it kind of brightens up the other ones.
Okay, good. So the other ones changed?
Yeah, they kind of, sorry to explain. They kind of got livened up a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and look back at the group and let them continue to change, because they might have a little more changing to do. Let them change so that the other one, it's not so much that the other one doesn't belong, is it makes the other ones fit to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does it feel like now when you look at that?
I don't see as much black and white, and the pictures feels a lot warmer, and it's like the colors bleed into each other almost. So
Okay.
there's not as much gray.
Okay. Very different than what it was before.
Very different.
Okay. Now, your intelligence database was right here in front of you, right?
Yes.
What happens when you bring your passion database and you put it right there in the same position?
Okay. I'm not sure.
Does it stay? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little off-centered. It's not exactly in the same spot.
Okay, but it's close.
Right.
Okay, and when you see it there as opposed to over here, how does that feel?
It's okay.
Feels okay? Take into consideration some of the other things about your intelligence database, like maybe the size of the pictures you were saying. You said it was sequential, but size, brightness, and all that. And make your passion one fit that as well.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's do the same thing with the passion one as you did with the intelligence one and spread it out on the timeline. Okay. Are there any gaps in it?
Yeah, there's still some gaps.
Okay. A lot of them?
No, not so many.
Okay. So go into those gaps, locate how old you were, and you know at some of those times, you know, whatever age you were, whatever, you had to have experienced passion in those times. And bring in that reference experience and fill those gaps up.
Okay.
All right. Now looking at that timeline, does it look pretty full?
Yeah, it's smoothed out.
Okay, good. Do you have future examples of being passionate?
Yes.
Okay, a lot of them?
A few of them.
Does it go into infinity?
It goes pretty far into the future.
Okay. It's not quite where your intelligence one is it?
No.
Okay. Take a few moments and build that in.
Okay.
It shouldn't take you long. You're getting the hang of this.
Okay.
All right. Pretty smooth out?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, you still have those examples, the counter examples, they've been transformed, but they're still there. So we're going to take one of those, maybe the one that you worked on,
Okay.
pull it up slowly, and drop it into this database. Okay? Did it integrate okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Grab another one, and pull it in. Drop it in. Okay. Do that with 3 more. Now, when you look at your database, how does it feel?
More filled out and clear.
Okay. Return it to sequential because that seems like
Right.
how you'd like to see it, and then just go through the sequence, seeing all the passionate experiences, and every once in a while you see a counterexample of when you weren't passionate, but there's a lot more of when you were.
Okay.
Okay. Are you a passionate person?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a passionate person?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good, actually.
And judging from how quickly he answered, he's smiling. He actually turned a little bit red. I don't know if you can see that from
Yeah.
there.
Look, he's blushing.
Yeah. And when you realized when you sat down, you were kind of can be right, and you weren't too sure about it. But are you pretty sure you're a passionate person?
I am. Yeah, I'm very sure.
Very cool.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.